Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye. Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nishtike. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Bandhu Jagat
Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Taptavarna Kanchana
Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute
Devi Parmani Hari
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya
Bhutale
Mate
Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Iti Nami
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani
Pracharani Hirvesha Sunyavadi
Pracharishatarine Panchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda
Vaita
Shri Adita Gadadhara Shivadi Gaur Bhakta Varanda
Krishna
Hare Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram
Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Krishna.
So we continue reading from Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 3 and we finished the chapter 5 yesterday. So we'll begin with the chapter 6. I'm just going to pull up the are you all able to see the screen?
Yes, yes, we can. Yeah.
So chapter 6 is the creation of the universal form. So we did read about it earlier. I think we read it in Canto 2. And then now again, we are going to hear about this creation again in Canto 3. So we can see that how Sukadev Goswami is repeatedly speaking about the creation to clear all the doubts that we might have regarding Krishna's position in creation, our position in this creation, and the position of the material energy, the position of the creation itself. So, creation of the universe, text 1. Rishir Uvacha iti tasam swashaktinam shaktinam asametya saha prasupta loka tantranam nishamya gatim ishvaraha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The Rishi Maitreya said, the Lord thus heard about the suspension of the progressive creative functions of the universe due to the non-combination of his potencies, such as the Mahatattva. There is nothing wanting in the creation of the Lord. All the potencies are there in a dormant state. But unless they are combined by the will of the Lord, nothing can progress. the suspended progressive work of creation can only be revived by the direction of the Lord. So all the ingredients are there, but then we need the will of the Lord to start all the creation. Till the time he does not will, it doesn't happen. That's what the scientists, they have that difference of opinion. They just say that all the material ingredients combine by themselves and produce various creations, living entities, or elements or whatever. But a devotee knows it's all by the will of the Lord, because if it was just material nature by itself, we do not see it in our experience that two elements combined and then another new element has come into a being. We don't see, we just see the same earth, water, air, fire, ether. There's nothing else being created. Mind, intelligence, false ego. And then everything is a combination and permutation of all these different elements. So, reading on, text 2. Kala sajnam tada devim bibrak chaktim urukramaha trayo vimshati tatvanam ganam ugapad avishad. The Supreme Powerful Lord then simultaneously entered into the 23 elements with the goddess Kali, his external energy, who alone amalgamates all the different elements. So we can see here the position of goddess Kali, that she is Krishna's external energy. So the ingredients of matter are counted as 23, the total material energy. False ego. So these are the sense objects, the different knowledge acquiring senses, the working senses, then the material elements. We just spoke earth, water, air, fire, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego. Yeah, so these are going to be listed. False ego and the sense objects. Sound, touch, form, taste, smell, earth, water, fire, air, sky, eye, ear, nose, tongue, skin, hand, leg, evacuating organ, genitals, speech, and mind. All are combined together by the influence of time and are again dissolved in the course of time. Time, therefore, is the energy of the Lord and acts in her own way by the direction of the Lord. So if we break down, this is Sankhya philosophy, if we break down all this material creation that we are so attached to, so attracted by, if we break it down, we will come to these elements. And there's nothing beyond that. And we are so attached to these elements, So this energy is called Kali and is represented by the dark, destructive goddess, generally worshipped by persons influenced by the mode of darkness or ignorance in material existence. So the energy, Kali Mata, Kali Devi, she is an energy of Krishna. In the Vedic hymn, this process is described as Mula Prakritir Avikritir Mahadadaya Prakriti Kirtayataha Sapta Shodashakastu Vikaro Na Prakritir Na Vikriti Purushaha. The energy which acts as material nature in a combination of 23 ingredients is not the final source of creation. So there is a Vedic hymn which says that this material nature is not the Supreme Lord. The Lord enters into the elements and applies his energy called Kali. In all other Vedic scriptures, the same principle is accepted. So it's not that this material energy, that she is the cause. No, Krishna is the cause. In Brahma Samhita 5.35, it is stated, Eko api asau rachayitam jagat andakotim Yak Shaktir Asti Jagad Anda Chaya Yat Antaha Dantarastha Parmanu Chayantrastham Govindam Adipurusham Tam Aham Bhajami. I worship the primeval Lord Govinda, who is the original personality of Godhead. By his partial plenary expansion, Mahavishnu, he enters into material nature and then into each and every universe as Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and then as Shirodakshai Vishnu into all the elements, including every atom of matter. Such manifestations of cosmic creation are innumerable, both in the universes and in the individual atoms. So Brahmaji is also saying how this creation happens, how Mahavishnu is lying down, and then he enters into every universe as Garbhodakshai Vishnu. Then the same Garbhodakshai Vishnu enters into every atom of the universe as the Paramatma or Super Soul, and he's known as the Shirodakshai Vishnu. And also that there are so many unlimited number of universes and so many unlimited atoms are there. So similarly, this is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 10.42. Atva bahu naitena kim gyatena tavarjuna vishtabhyam idam kritsnam ekam shena sthito jagat. O Arjuna, there is no necessity of your knowing about my innumerable energies which act in various ways. I enter into the material creation by my partial plenary expansion, Paramatma, or the Super Soul, in all the universes and in all the elements thereof, and thus the work of creation goes on. The wonderful activities of material nature are due to Lord Krishna, and thus he is the final cause or the ultimate cause of all causes. And so that's the reason we say not even a blade of grass moves without the will of the Lord. How the elements are going to be combined, when they will be combined, when the creation will happen, when it will be dissolved, is all according to Krishna's will. Material energy does not act independent of his desire. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yes. But I think there are 24 elements. Huh?
Now, the intelligence was not mentioned.
Intelligence is not, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Intelligence was not mentioned in that previous.
Right.
So reading on, text 3. So anupravishto bhagvams chesta rupena tam ganam bhinnam samyojayam asha suptam karma prabodhayan. Thus, when the personality of Godhead entered into the elements by his energy, all the living entities were enlivened into different activities, just as one is engaged in his work after awakening from sleep. I would see they are just elements, and yet how attached we are to those elements, you know. We are so baffled for millions and millions of births. We are so attached to them. Why? Because Krishna enters into each and every atom. If Krishna was not there, we wouldn't be so attracted to this material energy, because our original attraction is actually to Krishna. So every individual soul remains unconscious after the dissolution of the creation and thus enters into the Lord with his material energy. So this point is starting that the material creation was created, then it was dissolved. So what happens when it's dissolved? Everything goes again inside the body of Mahavishnu. But we still remain as individuals in the body of Mahavishnu. We do not combine with each other. As similarly, when we are going to sleep, we still remain individuals. We don't mix into each other. These individual living entities are conditioned souls everlastingly. But in each and every material creation, they are given a chance to liberate themselves and become free souls. They are all given a chance to take advantage of the Vedic wisdom and find out what is their relationship with the Supreme Lord, how they can be liberated, and what the ultimate profit is in such liberation. So we read this yesterday, that why does Krishna create the universe? Why does he create the material creation? So that we can enjoy our senses, because that's what we want to do. And at the same time, we can understand what's our true position, that we can get again united with Krishna in our relationship with him. By properly studying the Vedas, one becomes conscious of his position and thus takes to the transcendental devotional service of the Lord and is gradually promoted to the spiritual sky. So now if we are all put here in this material world, we are put here, and then how will we get knowledge of what's our true self? From the Vedas. And what is the knowledge that we are going to get from the Vedas? That what is my relationship with the Supreme Lord? And then how can I be liberated from this material world? And then, okay, why should I be liberated? Why should I be liberated? That also is all we can get from properly studying the Vedas. We have to properly study. And then when we properly study, we get conscious of our position. Who am I? What is actually my position? That's our illusion, that we are thinking I am this or that, I'm this body and I'm God and I'm, all that is all our misconceptions. But if we properly study the Vedas, we can understand what's our true position. And then once we understand what's my position, what do? Take to the transcendental devotional service of the Lord. Because what is our true position? Jivera Swarupaya Krishna Nityadas. That we are eternally related to Krishna. We have a loving relationship with Krishna. And then what is going to happen? Gradually be promoted to the spiritual sky. Yeah. So by engaging in devotional service, we can be liberated and go to the spiritual world. The individual souls in the material world engage in different activities according to their past unfinished desires. After the dissolution of a particular body, the individual soul forgets everything, but the all-merciful Lord, who is situated in everyone's heart as the witness, the super soul, awakens him and reminds him of his past desires. And thus he begins to act accordingly in his next life. So once the creation starts again, because we still had these desires which were not fulfilled, that's the reason we continue to remain in the material world. Because Krishna is Bhaktavatsal. Whatever is our desire, he gives us those things. So it was our desire to continue to stay in the material world. And then when the creation happens, then he reminds us, hey, you had this desire before in the previous creation, so start working. Then we work according to our desire. Then we give up the body, we die. Then we take up another body. So we forget about our body, but Krishna, who's in the heart as Paramatma, reminds us, hey, you had this desire, So then that's how the living entity again starts working. This unseen guidance is described as fate, and a sensible man can understand that this continues his material bondage in the three modes of nature. So it is all due to our desires that we continue to remain in this material world. So we should try to purify our desires. The unconscious sleeping stage of the living entity, just after the partial or total dissolution of the creation, is wrongly accepted as the final stage of life by some less intelligent philosophers. After the dissolution of the partial material body, a living entity remains unconscious only for a few months. And after the total dissolution of the material creation, he remains unconscious for many millions of years. But when the creation is again revived, he is awakened to his work by the Lord. So many people, they think, oh, after we die, then the soul just rests in peace. No, we sleep, but that is only for a few months. And then again, we take up another body. There is no rest in peace. The only way that we can be peaceful is when we are in Vaikuntha, in connection with Krishna, engaged in devotional service. And even in this life, we can be peaceful when we are engaged in devotional service. So this sleep, this unconsciousness, is for a few months after we give up the body, after we die, as we say, and for millions of years after this material creation is dissolved. But again, the material creation starts again, even if the time is millions of years. So, and anyway, we are sleeping then. But when the creation is again revived, he is awakened to his work by the Lord. The living entity is eternal, and the wakeful state of his consciousness, manifested by his activities, is his natural condition of life. What's our natural condition? Is that we are always active. We always need to be doing something. That's the nature of the soul. That's the Sanatan Dharma of the soul. He cannot stop acting while awake, and thus he acts according to his diverse desires. When his desires are trained in the transcendental service of the Lord, his life becomes perfect, and he is promoted to the spiritual sky to enjoy eternal awakened life. So can we say that, okay, whatever life I have, I will just sleep for that much time? No, we can't. We do have the desire to get up and do things, you know. That is that's the nature of the soul, that we have to keep doing something. And then what do? We act on our desire. We hear, right? Oh, don't suppress your desire. Do whatever you want to do. If you suppress your desire, then it will come out in a bad way. Well, the thing is that we should purify our desire. There is no need to suppress any desire. But when we engage in devotional service, by proper hearing and chanting, we should purify the desires by hearing attentively, by hearing submissively. Then hopefully then we can get the desire, oh, let me go back to Krishna, let me engage in devotional service, you know, and then the life can become perfect, and then go back home to enjoy eternal awakened life. We do not want to live a life of unconsciousness. What is the life of unconsciousness, you know? What's the value in that life? So an eternal awakened life, where we have relationships, we are doing things, we are happy, we are blissful. That is what is truly the soul's desire. Is that okay?
Yes, I just want to add, like in total dissolution, so everything goes into Krishna's body, right?
Yes.
We all remain there for millions of years, like
Yes.
what it says here.
Yeah. When Mahavishnu breathes in, when he breathes in, all the universes.
That is total dissolution, right? The whole creation is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So reading on, text 4. So we see there is no need to fear, you know, that we are always with Krishna. Even when the dissolution happens, where do we go? We are sitting with Krishna. When the creation is happening, Krishna is inside our heart as Paramatma, you know. So there is nothing to fear, actually.
Exactly, yeah, true.
Yeah. So text 4, Prabuddha karma devena trayo vimshatiko ganaha prerito ajanyat swabhir matrabhir adipurusham. when the 23 principal elements were set in action by the will of the Supreme, the gigantic universal form or the Vishwarupa body of the Lord came into existence. 8. So is it that they're saying the 23 elements is because the soul is not counted?
The intelligence.
The intelligence was not there, right? Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
The Virat Rup or Vishwarup, the gigantic universal form of the Lord, which is very much appreciated by the impersonalist, is not an eternal form of the Lord. So we say, many people, they say the universal energy, the universal consciousness, that is the Virat Rup of the Lord, universal form of the Lord. Now, this form of the Lord is not eternal. It's not eternal. It is manifested by the supreme will of the Lord after the ingredients of material creation. Lord Krishna exhibited this Virat or Vishwarup to Arjuna just to convince the impersonalist that he is the original personality of Godhead. Krishna exhibited the Virat Rup. It is not that Krishna was exhibited by the Virat Rup. So just for our understanding, you see, because we are so bewildered, we do not understand what is Krishna's position, what is this universal form, what is this universal consciousness. So that's the reason at the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Krishna showed to Arjuna that, look, this is my universal form. It is not that the universal form was there and then the universal form showed Krishna's form to Arjuna. No, it was the other way around. So Krishna is the origin. He is the origin of even the Virat Rup. So the Virat Rup is temporary. The Virat Rup is material. But Krishna is spiritual. His form is eternal. Satchidananda. The Virat Rup is not therefore an eternal form of the Lord exhibited in the spiritual sky. It is a material manifestation of the Lord. So when we go to any of the Vaikuntha planets, over there, there is no Virat Rup there. All the different Vaikuntha planets will have different incarnations of Krishna, such as Vishnu incarnations, or there will be, for example, Lord Ramachandra will be there. But the Virat Rup is not there in the spiritual world. Virat Rup is only in the material world. Why? Because it's made of material elements. And there is no material elements in the spiritual world. Everything is only Satchidananda. The Archa Vigraha, or the worshipable deity in the temple, is a similar manifestation of the Lord for the neophytes. But in spite of their material touch, such forms of the Lord as the Virat and Archa are all non-different from his eternal form as Lord Krishna. So however we connect to Krishna, we are connecting to Krishna himself. Doesn't matter what clothes he's wearing, you know. Like we sometimes we are wearing as we were saying, we are wearing an evening dress, or we are wearing a house dress, or we are wearing a night dress or a work dress. Person remains the same. So Krishna, no matter what expansion he takes, he is the origin. He is the origin, and all the expansions are coming from him. So they are non-different from him. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Were there any questions, comments, or anything?
No, clear. No, clear.
Clear for today? Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Hari
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Thank you so much for joining today.
I just came across one of the quotations, and it was that, "Oh dear Maya Devi, I am a full-time servant of yours, but please, in this month of Kartik, give me some discount so that I can serve Krishna." It was so beautiful that I'm a Oh, my dear Maya Devi, I'm the permanent servant of yours. But in this month of Kartik, give me some discount, please, so that I can serve the lotus feet of Krishna.
Nice. Nice. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Hare Krishna.